Hey guys, Rampant Rider is back, and the selfie stick is too. With the new camera, it's an SJ4000, but today I'm not talking about that. Today I'm talking about this beast behind me. This isn't working properly, so sorry if it's shaky. I'll hold it with two hands. And also, I got a new lid. Yeah, I got a new lid. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that in another video, because today the time has come. I've been promising it for ages. It's the review of my Honda CBR600F 2000, and I haven't rehearsed anything what I was going to say. Don't know what I'm doing really, but anyway, I'm going to try and not compare this to the SV too much, but the first thing that strikes me is it's fully fed and it looks so much better. It does. So should we see if we can turn the camera around and do some nice cinematic Minion AGV Minion Delkovich 600F. Oh, you don't want to see that bit. So and now there's a car approaching me. I might be on private land, I don't know. Rebel, fuck the police. So yeah, what's going on? Oh no, he needs to get through. That makes that awkward. Right. Well, this is going well. Anyway. So let's talk about first the big difference between this. Obviously it's an inline 4. My last bike was a V-twin. So the difference is the torque and the power. So this has got 100 brake horsepower around. My SV had about 75. But it being the nature of the V-twin is more torquey down the lower end, whereas this sort of, you'll find yourself revving this quite high all the time because there's not a lot of power under 7,000 RPM, so you're bouncing up and down on that rev range. And that also affects your engine braking. So this, with the SV, if I let the clutch out down the gears, it had so much torque that I didn't have to use the brakes a lot because the engine broke itself. So it was fine, I wasn't too hard on the brakes, whereas this, you have to be more on the brakes. You have to be harder on the brakes because there's not a lot of engine braking. But they've noticed that, and with these, the brakes are awesome. They stop you really well, they're really solid brakes, and they're confident. So, and that's what I like. That's one of the most important things about me with the bike, is you've got to be able to brake confidently. And the other thing is, it handles mega. I've never felt a more stable bike. I've never ridden a more stable bike than this one yet. And the front is just so solid that I can just leave it. I can sit on it off the handlebars for ages, no hands or no handers for ages, and just let it ride itself. Sounds a bit stupid if you're a policeman watching this. I don't actually do that, I promise. So it handles really well, although I've just had some new steering bearings fitting on it, so it should do anyway. But yeah. Okay, let's go through the mods I've done to this bike. So I haven't really done anything to this bike, it came with it. So first thing is the exhaust. Delkovich DS70 off eBay, it's about 150 quid maximum. It sounds super sweet, it's everything I want in an exhaust sound. It's got the low grunt as you're idling, and then as soon as you wind it up it just explodes into this F1 car world superbike sound, and that's what I want out of the can. It's just a simple slip on here, simple slip on. I love it. Everyone's like looking at me like, what the fuck is he doing? Now people have asked me, did I put the minions on? Or the minions are so cool, man. I didn't actually put them on. Basically the last owner dropped this bike, just, you know, slipped off a roundabout, and he thought it'd be funny to put a couple of minions on it. So I think they're awesome, and it gets me a lot of good comments about the bike. So namefully its nickname is the Minion Machine, but I'm still yet to find a good name for it. Good name for it. Just Suzuki sat so well, and I don't want to go typically with the new you know, the Helena Honda and all that lark. So I'm still thinking about that. Just keep going. Brakes, I've already said, yep, really good. Although I know a slight issue I've heard a few about these bikes is that the brake discs like to warp, so I probably will be changing them. Probably put radials on them eventually. Tyres, well, they're pretty much the same as I had before on the last bike, Bridgestone Battle Axes. They're okay, you know, they're good for the commute, they're dual compound. Maybe next time I'm going to try a different tyre, but I will use up this tyre's tread anyway. Another Minion, headlights, they're good, they're alright. Hello. They're good. Oh, we've got some riders. Wave, mate. Chavvy fuckers. Headlights okay. Hondas I've known to be quite bright with the headlights, but not this one too much. It's quite an older bike, so it's just typical. Shoey. Indicators. I do want to put a tail tidy on this bike with some mini indicators. It's just I spent all my money on the helmet and the camera, and I didn't do the indicators. So yeah. Wing mirrors is an issue with me on this bike. I just feel that the wing mirrors need to be a little bit higher, because I'm finding half of my wing mirror is taken up by my elbow, and the only way I get to see anything is by tucking in a bit. And they're not as adjustable, they're not as, you know, easy to manoeuvre or fold in as the Suzuki was, so it makes filtering a bit of a bitch. But because this bike handles so well, I can just tip around the mirrors and it's easy, so it's fine. Levers, cheap Chinese levers came with the bike. They're okay, a bit wobbly, but they're good and they look awesome. So I think you can get them on eBay for about £50–60, all well and good. Dash, again, the same thing. Revs up to 15,000, but to be honest, I don't really want to go that high. That's where the limiter is. I'm not going to tell you how fast I've been on it. One of the things that I didn't have on the Suzuki, but I do have on this, which is quite handy, is a temperature gauge. So when I'm spinning around Brighton, I can tell that, you know, once it gets to about, I don't know, just over halfway, the fan starts to kick in. So it's all well and good. It's just nice to know what temperature your bike's running at. But I'm still missing a fuel gauge. It's just not happening on sports bikes. So there you go. Standard chain, standard pockets, carbon fibre hugger, if you can see that. I've got I overlubed my chain a bit, so it's a bit drippy there, and I just can't be asked to clean it off yet. Under seat, you don't get a lot of room, because this is a dual seat and not a single seat like my Suzuki was. My Suzuki had more room in this one, but this is a lot about the dual seat bikes like the Bandits and the CBRs and the ER6s and stuff like that. You don't get a lot of room in them, so you just have to take a rucksack everywhere. Yeah, that's fine. In terms of power, I love it. I just love it. It's enough for me for it to commute. It's just nice and easy to ride for a commute, and it quite happily keeps up with other people at the weekends. So for me, it's the perfect bike. And the practicality of it is, I think this is the entry-level sports bike, but people buy this because it's road practicality, that you can do anything on it. You can go touring, you can go fast on the weekends, you can go commuting, and I love that. And one of my main things, I don't own a panic stand, and I love to be able to get my hands dirty with my chain. So one of the best things about this bike is the centre stand. I will not be taking that off because I love it. I love it. And Miss Rampant Rider loves sitting on the back of it. I've never been on pillion of it, so obviously, but all the pillions I've had on it have had good comments, so good. Yes, it does wheelie. Yes, it does. I've managed to do a couple of like tiny power wheelies on it, and yeah, it's funny. And if you're a policeman watching this, I'm only joking. I didn't do that. Promise. What else is there? Suspension-wise, it's quite solid, but I think I want to have a play around with suspension and maybe just sort of suit it to more of my riding. I've always said that Suzuki had a bit of a wobble on the rear end, especially as you tip it down into the corners. This one doesn't. It just sits into place, and I think that's why I've got more confident riding on this bike, because it just sits into place around the corners. It just dips in, it's stable, it stays there, and it says, do you want to go any more? And that's the point I haven't got to yet, although Filming the riding shots on the way here, I went round the roundabout and tried to get my knee down, sort of, and ended up getting my toe down. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. So if you guys are experts, leave that in the comments and tell me if I'm doing right or wrong. But I scraped my boots today and yesterday. They're all going, hey, hey, hey! Fucking wankers. There you can see the sea. You can see the sea. Yeah. So life is all good. Life is good. So like I said, any questions about this bike, put them in the comments section, and I'll obviously answer them. But I'm really satisfied with this bike, and I give it a 5 out of 5. And it's not because it's my own bike and I bought it, because I almost went and bought a Triumph Daytona on finance, and I went and saw this bike, and I preferred it, and the whole situation of finance is not suited to me right now. So really, this is the better option, and I don't regret this decision of buying this bike. And yeah, I miss the Susie and all that, and but it's all good. I love this bike. I love it, and I'm going to take a little snapshot for the thumbnail. Just fully extended. Should I pose? Suck my fat. Oh, it's moved. Oh, suck my fat. 6-pack. Yeah, there you go. So that's it, really. Haven't got a lot more to say. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't really rehearsed this very much. It's just a bit of a shit review, but at least not like the last one where I just forgot I was doing a review and just left it. If you've got any more thoughts or questions, just please leave a comment. I'm just saying that because, if viewers want to ask questions, then that's fine. Tweet me, Facebook me, whatever. It's fine. Happy riding, and I'll see you soon. What am I doing soon? I'm going to Brighton Burn Up on Sunday, if you're there. I'll be at Spicy Red Sausage Fest, if you're there. And I'll just generally be around Brighton, if you're there. So thanks guys, peace out, and enjoy a bit of last riding shots. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, go on then. You can have a little more. You can have a little more.